going on? We're back for another one. We wrapped up a spring turkey plot a couple weeks ago. Hope you guys checked that video out. Back here at the home place, and we're back to working on deer. So if you're looking behind me, this looks familiar. This is where we did the no-till cow peas last spring. Well, I went in there in the fall and put in a fall crop of oats, rye grain, and clover. You can see there's a lot of beautiful clover coming in here. That's some crimson clover. And there's a really good stand of clover in here. But all good things must come to an end. We're going back in here with a spring food plot now. So I'm going to come in here and use some herbicide, burn all this down, and in about 2 weeks come in here and plant cow peas in here again. Years past, I've had to do a sprayer swap with the 3-point sprayer that we use for the dove farming, and that just got to be too much of a hassle. Well, a guy on Facebook Marketplace had this 15-gallon Femco with the sprayer nozzle attached for 60 bucks. And these retail for about 100 to 120 new, and sure enough, everything worked perfectly fine on it. So for half the price, I've got me an ATV sprayer now. Well, it came with the spray gun, and with all the parts in my shed, I was able to build a boom for this thing. I had all these parts already, from the spray tips to the T-fittings to everything. So I was able to actually make a boom sprayer for this rig at no additional cost to me. Total of 60 bucks, what would have been close to probably $200. I'm able to put together an ATV sprayer that can live here at the house for doing these half-acre type food plot sprayings. The ones they sell online have a bracketed system. Well, I've got this basket on here, which I love for carrying stuff, and that bracket system wasn't really going to work. So I just kind of rigged up this 2x4, bolted to the basket, dropped down into here to a piece of conduit, and for now just zip tied it to make sure it's working like I want it to work, and then just put in a T-fitting, cut off the old spray nozzle, and just inline this straight to here. So I'm going to show you guys how this is working, brand new to me. Spoiler alert, I did already spray half of this plot. I wanted to make sure everything was working and kind of get a gauge for how fast the herbicide was going out. And I'm halfway through the tank and I'm halfway through the plot. So 15 gallons is going to be perfect. So the herbicide I'm using today is just glyphosate with a built-in surfactant. It's a sticker. And I'm going 1 ounce to the gallon. That's a little bit light, but it's pretty close to the label rate. I think it's a quart per acre is the label rate. This is right at half an acre. But the reason I'm going a little bit lighter is there's a lot of clover in here. Showed you earlier the crimson clover. There's a tremendous amount of clover all in here. So at 1 ounce to the gallon, it may not kill that clover, and the clover will stay in here for another month or so, and it's turkey season. And we've got turkeys that pass through here, so if I can kill out all this oats that doesn't have any seed on it, leave all the exposed clover for the next month, I can get a turkey in here. When the disc comes through here, the disc won't care about the clover. It'll cut right through that, no problem. I'm just trying to keep all the grasses, weeds, and other broadleafs, and especially the oats, from getting up too high. I want to make it harder to come in here and disc. Well, that's enough yakking. Let's do some spraying. Supplies sells a boom kit, and that would have been $50 to $100 just depending on which one I got, and they advertise a 6-foot spacing with a 2-nozzle system. So that would be 3 foot on center for a 6-foot wide spacing. So before I came out here, I beta tested it in the garage and measured the cone, and sure enough it was dead on, like 6.5 feet spacing. So that's pretty nice. That's about twice the width of the four-wheeler. So I'm able to come out here, and for every pass, I'm getting about twice the width of the ATV. So I've already sprayed almost over half of this food plot, and I'm right at less than half a tank. So that calibration is pretty good. 15 total gallons of solution, 1 ounce per gallon of glyphosate with a surfactant mixed in. And that's going to kill pretty much everything out here with the exception of the clover. 1 ounce per gallon might stress the clover, but it shouldn't knock it out completely. So hopefully I can leave the clover around another month or so for the turkeys to get in here and peck at. Take half a second here to just show you how much clover has come in here and how tall it is. This clover was planted in the fall as a part of a blend. The blend down the middle had chicory, a couple clovers, turnips, and I think oats in it. And then the rest of it on the flanks, I did in just pure oats and rye grain. But this clover is a solid foot tall almost. I mean, some of them are definitely a foot tall. You know, some of them are even clipped off. But you can tell a fall planting produces a fantastic spring clover plot. If you were to have come in here and exclusively planted clover, you would have a solid, almost foot tall, half-acre clover plot in here if you were targeting turkeys in this area. That's gonna do it. Half-acre food plot, spraying out our fall deer plot, getting ready for a spring one. So 15 gallons of solution, 15 ounces of glyphosate, and we're burning this food plot down. This is April 10th. So probably 2 weeks, we'll come in here, cut dirt, and put in some cow peas again. This year, we're not doing a no-till. I'm gonna go ahead and disc everything, plant everything more conventionally. Because if you followed the no-till food plot video, that didn't work out so well. I've got highly compacted ground, a lot of rocks, hardly no organics in here. So we're gonna cut all this dirt and plant some cow peas in here more conventionally. So that'll be in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that video. Back out here checking on our success in spraying, and we got a pretty good kill out here. 17 days ago, as you saw a little bit ago, all this was green oats and rye grain and a lot of other different stuff. And now I'd say 95% of it we got killed and sprayed out. So we got a really good kill. My suspicion was correct. At 1 ounce to the gallon, we stressed out that clover a little bit. You can see it's speckled, but we didn't kill it. The clover is still green all the way up to that swath you can see. So 1 ounce to the gallon, we did not knock out the clover, but everything else is dead as it can be. Probably come in here in a week and hit this with the disc, tear it all up, and we'll put in some cow peas. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make a separate video of the planting process just to kind of break this up a little bit. But next video you'll see in a couple of weeks, we'll be in here planting cow peas, and we'll again go through the process of inoculating the cow peas, cutting the dirt, seeding, and just kind of what we're doing out here. May go ahead and spray a pre-emergent as well. I think the metolachlor I use for the sunflowers will also is labeled for the cow peas. But if not, I may go pick up something else. But we get a lot of grass in here, so I'm gonna try to suppress the grass growth as much as possible to give those cow peas a chance to get up and get out. But thanks for following along. We'll see you in the next video.